transformational change, a total 180.
Hey, my friend, welcome back to a Total 180 interview. My name is Adam Scott, founder of a Total 180, helping you start and develop your online business in 90 days or less. And guess what, guys? I got another one. I got another banger, man. I know that these interviews have been requested, and I'm gonna keep on bringing the heat. This one is just going to be mind blowing. And me and this guy got an opportunity to talk offline before we started this interview. And I know the value that you're about to receive is so immensely incredible that you're not going to be able to contain the notebook that you have in front of you with the notes that you're going to get from this gentleman. So, if you're new to this private Facebook mastermind group, hey, do me a big favor. Use the start here post to enjoy some of the resources that we've had for you so that you can make a total 180 in your life as well. But without further ado, I want to introduce this gentleman. This gentleman is a Navy veteran turned business owner. And what we're going to do is we want to talk about how he made his transformational change, how he made a total 180, and what he did along his path to get to where he is now, and some of the humble beginnings that allowed him to continue on the path that he's on right now. So I want to introduce Tirone Cannon to the A Total 180 interview. Brother, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I cannot complain. I can find a couple of things to complain about, but it wouldn't help.
Hey, man, I can agree with you on that. I mean, we both in here pretty fresh. I mean, I got the cut, you got the Burberry, so I hope they're ready for it, man.
And I hope they are too, man. I hope I'm able to shed some light and actually help somebody, man, to create them to make a total 180 as well.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, man.
So kind of tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got into what you do currently right now.
So currently I work, man, I have a couple of hats. I have a couple of hats that I have to put on my head daily, man. And I had to really strip it out throughout the week. So I have a credit repair company, I have a trucking company, and I also have an investment company as well. So
pretty busy, man. That sounds like you talk about a lot of hats.
A lot of hats. I also have a fatherly hat, man. I have 4 daughters. Look,
girl dad.
Don't stop. Girl dad.
Wow.
4 girls. Yeah.
So I can tell you, from just hearing all these things that man, you are a very driven man. And especially with 4 daughters, I mean, I can already assure you that your why is strong enough. But, for those of us that are, listening or maybe replaying this, you probably had your sights on starting these businesses a while back. So kind of share with people how you got started, in the military and why that was a decision that you needed to make. And a little bit about your background. What was your upbringing like? Did anybody in your family have any businesses? Are you the first entrepreneur / service member in your family, or were there other people in your family like that as well?
No, so actually, my mother, she's actually been an entrepreneur since I was born. So for 28 years, she's been an entrepreneur. My biological father was a Marine for 13 years. So I'm not going to say that drove me to want to go into the military, because I always said I'm not going to the military. It's just that college didn't work out for me. But what made me decide that military wasn't going to be, carried out for 20 years for me was once I made $30,000 in a month. And I was like, hey, I just made my salary in a month. So that changed my whole perception of what I could do with the credit industry, or with really any industry, man. So that's what changed my perception. But there was a lot of people on the boat that were going through financial hardships because, when you get in the services, I want a Camaro, I want a Charger, but you're not understanding how the payment process works or how the APR works and all of that. So you're really getting swindled from the jump, So after I saw all of that, I was like, I talked to my mom, And honestly, the credit repair company is all of the companies are family owned. But the credit repair company was me and mama right off the jump. And I said, hey, if I can get some of these people off the boat to sign up and get this and that, I'm on board. So that's what I started doing, man. And I hit the road running.
Wow. That's just, I can kind of relate to that. My grandfather, he owned like 5 or 6 businesses. He was in the Army. He cut hair in the Army. Had his own barbershop, had his own antique store, had a moving and hauling service, owned land. And, it's kind of surprising sometimes for us to follow in our family's path. Like we don't sometimes do it intentionally, but it's crazy how entrepreneurship runs in our veins. So what was the why, behind wanting to join the military? You kind of touched on a little bit about college, that wasn't the move, coach. But being that wasn't the move, did you try other things before you gave the Navy a go, or was it just like, man, let me just go ahead and sign this thing. Let me just go ahead and do this thing, man.
Look, man, I tried a lot of things. I tried to be a lot of things and I wasn't. And it put me in positions that I didn't like being in, So that was one of the situations and stipulations that told me, man, this ain't the life that you want to live. I don't want to look over my shoulders every day of my life. Got to make a change, and it's got to happen now. There was a lot of things happening in the household, and me and moms and pops getting into it daily. So it was something that had to happen. I had to get out of their pocket and figure out how to make money on my own, and So yeah, man.
So the Navy was it your first choice, or were you looking at other branches, or?
So I actually looked into the Army first, man. I looked into the Army. I had a girlfriend at the time that was in the Army. She had just got sent to Japan, and she was like, "Man, the Army is so lovely," and she was like, "You should give it a shot." And I was like, "Man, you know what? I'm gonna do it. What do I have to do?" She was like, "Go to the office. You're gonna talk to Sergeant Kirby." I still remember this like it was yesterday.
Wow.
You're gonna talk to Sergeant Kirby. I'm throwing names out.
And, it's all good. It's all good.
You're gonna talk to him. He's gonna set you up. The test is only 10 questions. Man, you should be able to knock it out. You're a pretty smart guy. Look, you'll be in here in no time. I got up to that office that same day, and he had us take a practice. It was me and my partner. We took the practice exam, the practice ASVAB, and I want to say we scored pretty high. So he was like, "Hey man, let's go ahead and go down the MEPS right now. Let's do it. Let's go." I'm right with you. You need some gas money? I'm trying to get up out of here. Yeah. So we go down there and we get to that computer, and I get to question 10, and it was more questions to follow. So I said, yeah, this is not it. I just started clicking. Yeah, 2 + 2 is 10. Like I didn't care. Wow. I didn't care. At that point, I was just lied to. She told me it was 10 questions. No, this is not what I want to sign up for. So I failed that exam or that the ASVAB, and my parents found out. I lied to them and I said, "Hey," I was like, "Yeah, I got to retake it." There was something going on with the computers, and they found out that I scored like a 22. Like I'm being transparent. I scored like a 22. Wow. I just missed. But I was talking to my barber at the time in Irving when I was staying out there, and he sat me down and he said, "Listen, man, you're a young man. You got a nice, you got a nice head on your shoulders. Don't settle for anything." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Man, your pops told me that you were looking to join the Army. You don't have to do that." He was like, "Man, I was in the Navy for 10 years, da da da." And I said, "Okay, well, let me look into the Navy. I can't swim, so let me look into that." So I started looking into all the branches, and Air Force popped up, and I said, I know I'm kind of brilliant, but at the time I didn't want to be around, that type of crowd. And I didn't know what type of crowd it was at the time. I thought all of them were nerds. This is just me being transparent,
Yeah.
But Ended up being, nerds on the submarine. But anyway, so I did more research, man, and Navy ended up being the one that I was most passionate about. And I was like, man, I could be a underwater construction worker, man. Oh yeah, that sounds interesting. When I get out, I could be helping build bridges. And man, my brain was just running. And I talked to the recruiter the next day, and I went to go take another ASVAB. And since my score went up past 20 plus points, I had to take it again after 30 days just to make sure I wasn't cheating. So I took it a third time, and I passed. At the time when I was coming in, I think you had to have a 52 or above. And thank God I hit that, because if I didn't hit it on the third try, wasn't no telling what was going to happen. But I lucked up, passed that third exam or the third ASVAB, and I got to choose to be a machinist mate auxiliary on submarines. And yeah, man, that's
Wow.
it's a lot.
Yes, but it's funny that you pointed out a couple of things. Like, most people give up on the first or second try. Marlette recently had an event. It's called The Power of One More. Did you tune in?
No, man. Look, when I was in middle school, not to cut you out, when I was in middle school and I played football, bro, that was literally our motto. If we had got punished to run the field, do bear crawls or anything, however many we had to do, the coach would always shout out, one more, one more, one more. And you would never know how many you're doing. He would just keep on saying one more.
One more.
Keep on pushing you.
Yeah. But in a good way, though, because, a lot of people will use that as a discouragement. It's my second ASVAB. They're going to make me take a third. God, this is a sign from God. Man, come on now. Stop this. Stop this nonsense, right? Sign from God. This is the devil here. But, the reality of the matter is this. Situations and circumstances build character.
Absolutely.
Right? And that conversation in the barbershop, I mean, granted, it was years ago. It still resonates with you today.
Absolutely.
Right? Because he saw, this is incredible that you're pointing this out, because, I just got an epiphany. Sometimes it takes somebody seeing something in us before we even walk into that, in order for us to walk into that.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey.
I can tell you there are numerous times from experience and from past circumstances where somebody saw the good in me before I could even see it in myself. And that barber was like, I see it in you, and you may not see it all in you yet, but as long as you persevere, think about it. 3 ASVABs, most people would have quit on the first one. Let's be honest. 22, out of there, dog. But I mean, that just shows you that you had that resiliency from even before you signed your name on the dotted line. So, when you were in the Navy, what was that first few years of the Navy like for you? Did you think like, man, was it easier than you expected? Was it harder than you had expected? And when you were in the military, those first couple of years, did you think to yourself like, man, I could do this for a little while? Or was it just like, nah? What was it for you, man?
Man, my first 2 years, it was like, I got stationed in San Diego. So it was lovely. I was like, man, I'm stationed somewhere where people might come to visit, like vacation. Oh, this is going to be fun. So yeah, man, my first 2 years were pretty fun. I'm not going to dive too far into details, but my first 2 years, I wasn't too focused on my job, so I was just out having fun. And then once the job got serious, that's when, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but I don't know. It's getting a little rough around here.
Yeah.
But my first 2 years were like heaven. Granted, my first 2 years, I did get deployed as well. So it was a little bit different for me as well. A whole lot of things I had to cope with and, adjust to.
Mm-hmm. So, on your first enlistment, when you got toward the end of it, did you decide that you wanted to re-enlist prior, or was it like you got out after your first enlistment?
Uh, I was battling, man. I was battling between I was between a brick and a hard place. I just had so I had a 2-year-old at the time, a 1-year-old, and I had twins on the way. Yeah. So yeah, man. So I was battling. It was either get stationed somewhere else, and to finish out my first contract, I was gonna have to get back underway, like go back on an active going or active undergoing submarine, and that's not something I wanted to do. Be away from my family. Just I would be away from my family. You know, having the twins, just had a baby, so I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to it. Really had to like pick and I didn't know, bro. I really put it in God's hands, and I ended up getting kicked off of my boat after I had shoulder surgery. So yeah, man, that had a lot to do with it as well. So
Wow. So after your first enlistment, you kind of was like, I'm done with this. This ain't it. I got kids to raise. I want to be present. I want to touch on that for a second because when I was deployed, we had our CEO, Captain Slaughter, what's his name? We actually wanted to name the ship the Slaughterhouse, but he's like, I can't have the ship called the Slaughterhouse, y'all. But Captain Slaughter, what he would do at about 1700, 1800, he would come on a 1MC, and what he would do is announce birthdays, but he will also announce fathers that just became fathers.
mm,
And it was like, as I was listening to that on the 1MC, I was just like, I could not imagine being out in the middle of the ocean. I don't know when the hell I'm coming home. And I am a father with a son or daughter that was born into this world, and I missed it. It's just those Kodak moments. You don't get another one of those. You don't get a do-over, right? That's a saying that that I heard in business not too long ago. Actually, I first saw it at a cleaners that my dad used to take me to when he used to drop off his dress shirts. And the saying was this: you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
absolutely.
And I was telling my godparents the same thing that you talked about. Like, here I am passing the 5-6 year mark. I'm speaking to my godparents. My godfather was in the Navy as an officer. I'm like, I don't like the idea of being a father or being a husband and not being present. Because the cliche that we hear so often is time is money. But you and I, as business owners, we know time is infinitely more valuable than money.
Thanks.
Right. And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because that decision to say, you know what, this ain't it, was probably catapulting you into the destiny that you're walking in right now. So prior to leaving the Navy and enlisting, you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier about the credit repair. So kind of share with people what kind of compelled you to want to get started in business. What was that defining moment in your military career where he's like, you know what, I want to go all in on this. I need to go all in on this. And if I do, it's going to allow me the opportunity to be well off when I get out of the military. When was that for you, the defining moment?
When was it? I'd have to say, man, it was like, you want an exact date?
No. You just like, was it like a couple of years before you got out? Was a year? What was that defining moment?
It was literally a year and a half before I got out, man. A year and a half before I got out. I was able to help someone secure a $30,000 loan for his trucking company. He was falling off. He didn't, he's never gotten a loan before. Didn't know exactly what to do, who to go to, what banks to, got his credit right. and ended up getting him another loan. On top of that, I'm not going to discuss how much he received. However, I did receive a hefty amount on the back end. And that was the defining moment for me right there, because I've never seen that amount of money in my account. And it wasn't about the money that I made, but it was about what I was able to do for someone else. So we live by providing second chances. And if you allow me to dive into that, man, Mama, don't kill me. I'm definitely gonna send you this, but don't kill me. I'm definitely gonna tell your story, because it was defining that made me who I am. My mom was sentenced to prison for 20 years. It's not a soul out here alive that can tell me that God is not real, because she only did 2 months without, it was no, no bringing up anyone's name or anything of that nature. It was 2 months and she was out, man, after she was just sentenced to 20. But when she got out, it was probably the hardest time for the family. And that was another, deciding factor of me joining the military as well. But she needed that second chance. She needed someone to provide her a second chance to, skip past the whole background. So long story short, man, I don't care who it is, what background you have. I just want to provide you that second chance that no one else is able to give you. We didn't get this chance. We didn't learn in school, about credit and what it can do for you and the benefits of it. So learning it again secures that you don't mess up the second time around. And if you do, then that's fine. Come on back. I got you. However, you know what they say. What defines insanity? Doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. So I always explain that to my clients as well, man. But I think I ran over the question that you asked, trying to get that story out. If you could repeat that for me.
No. I mean, you touched on it. You that defining moment, right? That made you say, you know what, it's on to bigger and better things. I'm a firm believer. To be a Christian is to be what? Christ-like, right?
Absolutely.
And the Christians were, first, called Christians at Antioch. But we serve a God of second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 77th chances, right? And the greatest thing about God that his word shares with us, and I'm not trying to be a preacher here, but
no, go ahead, preach, man.
I was raised in a household with it. You know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, the Bible says if your brother offends you 7 times, forgive him 70 times 7. And it's incredible that you point out second chances, because the military, in some cases, for people, is their second chance. I can tell you there's probably numerous stories of people who were in front of a judge and it was jail or military. Right? It was like, hey, listen, you either go to prison or you go to the military. Which one is going to be? I'll take military for 600 Alex, right? You know what I'm saying? But the important aspect of life is understanding that not only is God not done with us, but we can't be done with us.
Absolutely.
That's a deep. That's a. If you don't mind, we can go out to the deep end. We can swim in the deep end a little bit. But it's important that you pointed it out, because a lot of people listening to that's like, man, like my parents were sentenced. I was sentenced. And that second chance, that's going to resonate with somebody so deep. So again, I applaud you for, sharing that, because think about the magnitude of what that decision did. So you talked about, being able to help somebody, get these loans, and you had never seen that amount of money in your account before. Was that the moment that it became real and it became apparent that you were destined to do what, you just kind of got into doing? Or was it something that, like you said earlier, maybe your mom kind of played a part in you allowing you to be able to do?
I'd say my mom definitely played a huge role in it. Um, However, it wasn't like the determining factor that this is what I'm destined to do. I knew that it would bring me to, meet different people, learn different things, and be around uh, different avenues, different people making different types of money, man. And that's exactly what it's done. So exactly what I thought it would do, it's definitely done it for me, man. So that it played a vital role. My mom played a vital role in it.
Got you. And for those people that are like, I kind of want to get started in that. How did you actually get started? Like, if you could share with us that story about how that actually, how did you stumble into helping that gentleman get that loan for his trucking? Like, what made you want to do that? Was it just something that you just came across, like, let me give this a go, or was it somebody put a bug in your ear and say, hey man, you should try this? What kind of allowed you to make that decision to get started there?
My mom definitely put a bug in my ear. Mom, like I say, man, my mom's been in my corner my whole entire life, man. And look, it's like Kanye and his mom, for real. My
Yeah.
mama is the queen of my life, for real. But she put that bug in my ear and she taught me literally everything I know about how to get the loans, how to get things removed from your credit report. My mom has taught me all of that. So yeah, definitely someone put a bug in my ear, but I would say how to, but a magician don't tell you how he, performs his magic tricks. You got to come in the back. You got to come in the back behind the stage, and then we'll have that conversation.
Yeah, 100%. So
Absolutely,
when you were so you did this while you were in the military, right?
absolutely. Since 2016.
Okay. So at that moment when you had made what you make in a year and a month, what was that? What was that feeling like? I mean, because it had to been like, bro, I'm Superman in this show. Like, what's going? Is this really me? Like, when you log in, like, what was that moment like? Because you don't have to go too much into your childhood and your upbringing, but did you come from a lot of money? Did you come from wealth? Did you come from abundance? Or was that the first time seeing something like that in your account? Was like, is this real? Like, what was that moment like?
Man, so I'm gonna walk you through that day because I didn't even know it was in my account. So I was actually on duty that day, and no, I wasn't on duty. I was at work, and it was lunchtime, and I was stationed in Norfolk, Portsmouth. I was stationed in Portsmouth at the time, and I was going on a lunch run for everybody. Me and my friend Bert, and we're headed to Subway, and go to the ATM. I pull out some cash. I just pulled out a 20, and my receipt came out, and it said 36,000 such and such. I said, let me look at this account because this is not mine. This is not my receipt. My receipt didn't come out. So I put my card back in and I drew out another 20. Now the 20 comes out, my receipt comes back out, 36,000. Bro, Merc was like, bro, can you move out of the way so I can get my money? I said, man, don't even worry about it. I got our food.
Yeah.
So I've always been a humble guy, man. So even after seeing that in my account, I maintained the same type of lifestyle, same type of personality. It didn't change me. But was it my first time seeing that type of money? Absolutely. Growing up, we were, we were wealthy. We lived abundantly. Um, Around 2008 is when hardship hit for us, and I got to see the other side of the train tracks where, life wasn't so, fine and dandy, and everything's just handed to you. So I had to figure out how to, work. things weren't handed to me no more. So I had to figure out how to get it on my own. Me and my brother started going through, washing cars in the neighborhood, things of that nature, man. We didn't stop.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You know, the more you talk and the more I listen, the more similarities we have in our lifestyle. My dad and my parents, specifically my father, we had it well, man. I mean, I want to say 2004, 2005, we lived in a $500,000 home, pool with the jacuzzi with the lights on it. You know what I'm saying? With the little remote jump. You know what I'm saying? Got a media room.
Yeah.
All of that with the projector.
Yeah.
I'm talking, we was living like bougie.
Absolutely.
Can I get a spot to like, you know what I'm saying? Boozy on it.
Oh, you
But
funny.
the same way, that hardship happened in your family happened in mine. Cause my dad was in real estate at the time. And I remember him telling me, he's like, guess how much money I made this month? How much, Dad? 20K. And you think about it, in the early 2000s, that was some paper stacks, right? And when you get to a hardship like that, it not only really defines who you are, but it defines what you're made of, right? Because a lot of people face hardships, a lot of people face difficulties, a lot of people face these circumstances that aren't in their favor, and then they believe the world is out to get them. Like, this is a question I want somebody to think about that's listening and watching this and maybe repeating this. What would the highs be in life without the lows? It makes you appreciate highs that much more. It makes you appreciate understanding that you don't have to worry about money, right? When you had the EBT card with your moms, when you had to get free lunch at school, because we ain't got it like that. We had to stay with friends of a family because we don't have a home. What would the highs be without the lows? And I remember listening to somebody, man, this is going to touch somebody, man. The Holy Spirit is moving in it right now, but I just wanted to share this because, man, it's just incredible. This gentleman said to me, Adam, don't forsake the view going up the top of the mountain for being at the top of the mountain. So many people are just racing to get to the top of the mountain that they forget to look at the scenery on the way up. And dude, your story, man, I'm getting goosebumps over here, man, because it's incredible how that mental fortitude to be like, I got to go get it out the mud, whether that takes washing cars. I did that as well. I remember my first business was Adam's Neighborhood Speed and Wash Car Wash. I would knock on your door if you had a car in the driveway, and if you answered, I remember my pitch. It's crazy. I'm 13, maybe 14 years old. I remember my pitch. I said to that person that answered the door, "Hi, my name is Adam with Neighborhood Speed and Wash Car Wash. I was wondering if I can wash your car for $4." It's crazy. Like, I remember my pitch.
Did you have your own water source?
No, I didn't have my own water. I had my own bucket. I had my own soap, my sponges, and I even had my own rags. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we gotta use your water.
I'm gonna use your water, but let me wash your car. And I remember, I think it was maybe 30 or 40 houses before I got my first yes. Again, mental fortitude that you're gonna get the no's, but the no's make it again. What would the highs be without the lows? What would the yeses be without the no's? Right? So kind of talk to people, and we kind of talked about this offline. What was some of the biggest win or maybe the biggest years or months you've had in business, as well as some of the lowest days and months that you had in business, and why you chose to continue on the path that you were on in spite of the shortcomings or the months where it didn't seem like things were going to pan out in your favor? Talk to the people about that.
I'd probably say the highest, man, is I had a crazy sales team, man. I put on the board every week a goal to reach that week, and I taught them the game of sales and how to operate and sell and pitch the credit repair, and the goal on the board was 35K for that week. And if I could teach them how to make what I made in a week, then now I'm reproducing myself through them. So no matter who else comes in, they can teach them to reproduce the same thing. But now we can double up because now we're all on the same page. So we hit that. We hit 37.25, 250, right? That week alone. So I said, man, let's do it again. I put up 40. It was kind of rough, kind of tough, but we touched it. So that was probably the highest where I was able to see myself reproduce myself through other people. That was probably the highest, man. So you want to hear the lowest? The lowest is being transparent, man, is even after teaching those people how to sell and all of that, if you're not giving your full potential or full self to your employees, then they're going to get burnt out. So to see those employees walk out as if this company never existed, never helped them, helped their families, and things of that nature, it hurt. So that was probably the lowest right there, man. But the bounce back is real.
Yeah. So that bounce back that you just spoke about, how did it feel? One, when you bounced back, and what was the thoughts that were running through your mind when those people chose to walk out? Like, did you start doubting yourself? What was that moment? It was like, man, like, what am I doing? Am I meant for this? Talk to people about what that bounce back looked like and how you were able to bounce back.
Man, I'm gonna use it's not an analogy. I just want to paint a picture real quick for the people that play sports. I'm gonna pick basketball. You ever been in a lead for like 20 points, right? And the coach is like, you know what? Let's take the starters out. Let's put the bench players in, right? But the other team keeps their starters out, right? So now the lead goes from 20 to 2, right? But now the confidence of the other team has risen, and now they're resilient. They don't want to lose. Now I'm speaking as the losing team that's down right now. You feel me? That bounce back feels like that when you come up and then you get the lead and they can't touch you from that point. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who they put on that court, who they put in front of your strongest player. They can put their strongest player against your strongest player. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're still not going to touch you, tie it up. It's not going to be a close game. That's how that bounce back feels, man. That's how.
Wow. And as you progressed in your business, what kind of podcasts were you listening to? What kind of books were you reading? Did you have a coach? Did you have a mentor? What were some of the things that were helping you not only complete the bounce back, but continue to ascend? What was that? What were some of the things that you were listening to, watching, reading in order to kind of really catapult that bounce back even more?
It's gonna sound like a load of BS, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I do not listen to podcasts. I do not listen to I'm gonna take that back. I didn't start listening to motivational, speakers and things of that nature until I met Tim. Tim, every morning, the science of getting rich, the science of getting rich, the science of getting rich, the science of getting rich. And he would send it every morning. I'd be like, bro, stop sending me this, man. I don't like listening to these monotone people, man. I don't. Like, I like to be in my head and tune in. I meditate, pray, and I get on the way. But one day I listened to it, and then he backdoored it with it was a meditation on YouTube of attracting money. And this was around the time where I was trading as well. This very day, I hit $3,000 in one day, in one trade. And I was like, whatever Tim sent me this morning worked. I need to start doing that. So I started meditating, with binaural beats. Honestly, it was never a podcast that I was listening to. It was always observing the people around me and seeing how they're living and seeing where their life is headed, where it's going, and where I want my life to go. So that was my motivation to keep going and things of that nature, man. So I don't listen to podcasts. I'm not that big headed to where I'm like, what you're saying doesn't matter to me. It's just I know how my God works, and what He's telling me is for me, and what He's gonna put in front of me is for me as well. So if I don't put it in front of myself, then I don't feel like it's from. I'm not gonna say it's not from God because it's me not typing it up, but I just never listened to podcasts like that, man.
To some people, they can relate to you. I would say I didn't start listening to podcasts until I joined this network marketing company. I want to say back probably 3 or 4 years ago. And something that there was a quote that came up that as you were talking, it made me think is like, forget all the reasons why something may not work and think of the one reason why something will work.
Absolutely.
Because everybody looks at like you said earlier, that fortitude and some of the things that people say, people really don't understand the power in their words. And it's sad because, you can listen to something. And it's crazy how many times Jesus even said this, he that has ears to hear, let him what? Hear. He said it so many times, he that has ears to hear, let him hear. And it's just like, why does he keep saying that? Because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And, in order to really hear what he's saying to us, we have to hear his word. Right. And a couple of other things, I want to touch on before we wrap up is, with you building these businesses and, you being able to make, the kind of money that you've been making and experience the highs and experience some of the lows and your team walking out and bouncing back, talk to somebody out there that's listening to this, watching this, or maybe, seeing this on replay about why it's important to, 1, not give up, but 2, stay the course.
Why it's important. I can tell you my reason why it's important, because if I tell them why it's important, then, it's not going to, it might resonate, it might not. It might give them a little fire up under their butt, but it might not. You know what I'm saying? My reasoning is going to be different. I have 4 mouths to feed. I can care less about what I eat, but I have them 4 babies, right? So the main reason you want to stay the course is to be true to yourself, man. It's what you said you wanted. What you said you wanted. You woke up, you said, man, I want $1 million. How are you going to get that $1 million? You're not going to get it by praying, and it takes work. What did it say? Faith without work is dead. You can believe, but understand, belief is knowledge without proof. If you don't get up and start moving, nothing is going to get handed to you. Listen, that you can meditate all you want, you can pray all you want. If you don't put forth the effort, you're not going to get what it is you said you wanted. That's why it's important to stay the course. Get what you want. You said you wanted it. That's why it's important, man.
Now go out there and get it.
Go get it.
I'm not sure if you know or have heard about Inky Johnson. Man, you said, the stuff that you putting out here is, this is fire, man. I've gotten goosebumps a couple of times. I'm almost caught the Holy Ghost a couple of times. But Inky Johnson said something that that is incredibly profound, that touches what you said. He said you should never wish for it more than you're willing to work for it.
Mm.
And so many people are wishing, hoping, and praying that their circumstances change without working. Which is why there's another quote that says this: you can't fake the grind. Your results will snitch on you. I didn't. Hey, look, I'm just a messenger. You can't fake the grind. You got to roll up your sleeves. You know, me personally, I don't know about you, and I'm pretty sure you can relate to this. I like to get it out the mud, man. I got to get it out the mud. I got to get in the trenches. I got to roll up my sleeves, and I got to get to work. Because in order for me to know my worth, I got to put in the work.
Mm.
Man,
come
on, man. Let me stop, man, because they're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready.
I don't think so, man.
So as we begin to wrap up, kind of tell people about how you started the other companies that you started, and what was the inspiration behind going from credit to trucking into investment. Like what was the inspiration behind starting those additional companies that you started?
So lucrative. I saw the trucking industry as a lucrative business, man. It's a lot of my friends that were jumping into box trucks, and I was like, man, is it that easy? Yeah, man, I'm touching 10,000 a month. Now, what they don't say is, the maintenance, the gas, and all of these other things, all these other stipulations and things you have to pay. However, I said, man, I'm gonna do some research myself. However, that company actually fell into our lap. One of my mom's close friends developed cancer. Y'all pray for her. She developed cancer, and it was becoming stressful for her. So she asked for us to, take it off of her hands. So me and Mama split. We split the truck, trailer, and authority, and we got it off. And once we got that, we hit the ground running. Hit a couple bricks, a little, a couple of roadblocks, and had to hit, some U-turns and things of that nature. But like we talked about before, man, the family that I have, we don't stop. We continue going. It does that. You can put a roadblock right there, and then the next time we come back around, we spin the block, roadblock gone. But that's how that fell into our lap right there. And then once I got that, man, I started to see how lucrative it really was, and how many different lives that I really could change by putting them just in the driver's seat. Friends of mine, I can put in the driver's seat. Friends of mine, I can help have dispatch for me. Friends of mine, I can have next to me figuring out, how to run the paperwork and all of that, all the legalities and things of that nature. So that's how that one went about. The investment company started back in 2017. I didn't get it off the ground until COVID hit. We started trading, and I started making a lot of money trading. And I was like, it would be foolish of me to go out and just spend this money on designer or jewelry and things of that nature. No, I wanted to invest. So I actually ran into a couple of companies. See, that's Maji Pure, man. It's the purest alkaline water that you'll ever have in your life. You can go look for it on majipure.com, get you a couple cases. But anyway, I actually
shameless plug.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's all I drink, bro. Like alkaline, bro. People, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But if you ain't on alkaline already, what you doing?
Facts.
What you still drinking that Nesto for? Like, what you doing, bro?
I gotta get you a case, man. You gotta testify to this.
It's crazy. Side note, this is place that I tried. I think it's called like Gym and Juice or something like that. They make alkaline smoothies. So
where you looking again?
VA, right?
Okay.
So I was stationed in VA, and while I was in VA, I was like, I'm a smoothie guy. I'm a health guy. I like to, that's how the face stays clear.
Larry June.
You know what I'm saying? God is
Yeah.
great. You know what I'm saying? So I was getting ready to go. Me and my starter was getting ready to go to Jamba Juice. And I said, isn't there this place over there by this wing spot we go to that's like a smoothie spot? We go in there. I kid you not. They don't have any milk, any yogurt, any sugar. It's fruit, alkaline water, and agave. I'm like, man, I said, this ain't going to be good. They handed that smoothie over to me, but I said, what is water? Crazy though. It's crazy. Like what? Yeah. Who would have ever thought alkaline water fruit smoothies? Incredible. I actually make them in my house now. So I ain't gotta spend that $8.35 on this.
You really just put me on. I'm about to go home and make me some.
Yeah.
With the alkaline water.
With the alkaline water. So shameless plug, but go ahead and continue. I think you were talking about I think I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
You're good.
I know you were talking about, just the water and you didn't want to spend the money on designer and stuff like that.
So I invested in, the Maji Pyramid has a good friend of mine. He makes that. He's out of Dallas, Texas. I had another friend that had a cigar lounge, and it was kind of a touchy subject, but I invested in this as well. And, there's bad investments, there's good investments. And this one just happened to be a bad investment. Not because, they fell or went under. It just happened to be a group of individuals that weren't as headstrong as I was when it comes to business, didn't get it off the ground, didn't do anything with it. So the money that I invested kind of evaporated. Yeah, man. But the grind don't stop. Like I said, second chances, we keep going, make a U-turn, hit a roadblock, make another U-turn. We'll come back around, that roadblock be gone, and we'll continue moving.
So as we begin to wrap up, where can people find you? And if you coach or you have a program or they want to work with you, how can they get a hold of you to be able to work with you and follow you on social and maybe get a chance to use your services to benefit them?
I'm so glad you said that, the coaching and things of that nature. That's actually under construction right now. But if you're looking for me on social media, you can find me at T Cannon the Mogul, MOGUL. If you're looking for the businesses, you can find Breeze Through. I believe it's LTC, Breeze Through LGC, I believe. And the credit repair company is HLP Credit at HLP Credit. H as in Hector, L as in Lima, P as in Papa. Credit. The investment company is Men's Group Investments. The MEN stands for Mentor, Educate, Network Investment Group.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're watching this, or maybe you're replaying this, be sure to use the links down below. I'll make sure they're below this video and his socials so that you can be able to get a hold of him on social media. If you want to work with him, be more than happy to connect you with him. And, there's no affiliate link or anything like that. Just want to be a shameless plug to you as well. So one last thought before I wrap up. I always like doing, futuristic predictions. So I hope and pray that 5 years from now, when we do another one of these, or maybe sooner, we can talk about the more transformational changes you've made. But let's not
to cut you off, man. You was talking about your goosebumps. Listen, my affirmation daily is no matter what business I am attached to, my name is attached to it, it's going to touch 100 M's minimum. So I want, like you said, 5 years from now, like I said, any business that my name is attached to is going to touch 100 M's minimum.
Let's do it. So 5 years from now, June 1st, 2027, 100 M's. Now, for somebody that's inspired by your story, inspired by your words, inspired by your message, inspired by your passion today, what closing thoughts would you give them in order for them to make a transformational change and a total 180 the same way you did? so that they can move the goalpost closer toward that which they desire? What closing thoughts would you give somebody to ensure that they're getting closer to making that transformation of change in their life?
Block out the friends that don't encourage you. Block out the friends that encourage too much. Those are the yesers, the yes sirs, the yes man. Block them out. Really set in with self and figure out what self wants, what self needs. Self. That's it. Okay. I know we're closing out, man, and when my brother was coaching basketball, he had young kids, man. I used to tell them, hey, is ball life? And they would say, yeah, ball is life. And I say, okay, well, let's look at the goal as life. Okay, what are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What do you want? What do you want most out of life? And they would go out and say, oh, I want to be an NBA player. Okay, let's put that at the bottom of the net. Okay. Now, what do you feel is blocking you from accomplishing hitting the bottom of that net? They would say, oh, I like playing video games and things like that. I probably could be outside, dribbling more with my left hand and doing more left hand layups and things of that nature. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and put video games up there on the backboard, on the rim. Anything that can deflect the ball from hitting the bottom of this net where your goals are, your accomplishments that you want, that you have set for yourself. And I dove them into punishment. Punishment is not meant to continue out through life, but punish yourself so you can teach yourself and train yourself not to continue to hit those deflectors that are stopping you from reaching that goal. So, man, that's my closing message right there, man. If it's something that you want out of life, man, get up and go get it. No one's gonna get it for you. You said you want it, go do something about it. Like I said earlier, man, faith without work is dead. You gotta put in some work, put in some time. Like you said, roll your sleeves up, go get it. It might get dirty for a little bit. It's gonna get dirty, and don't get so caught up in being dirty, man. They make water, they make soap for a reason. Wash it off, keep it moving. That's my closing message, man.
I appreciate the closing message. And, with that, the most important letter in the word success is you. Right. And it's incredible to hear your story, brother. And I'm moved by it. I'm touched by it. I'm honored to be able to, share this with the people that are listening, watching, maybe replaying this, because a lot of what you said is going to resonate with people the same way it resonated with me. And so many people that are listening to this may be in a place where they don't know how to get out the mud. They don't know how to roll their sleeves up. But one of the things that you said that's so powerful is you said you wanted it. Isn't that still important? That's what you said, though, right? You said that, not me. You said that. So, again, brother, I appreciate you. I want to give you your flowers, bro, for doing this interview with me and just providing immense value. And for you that are listening and watching this, you made it to the end of this interview. I just want to take a moment to thank you for allowing me and Tirone to just share with you, Tyron Cannon, like this dude's about to go crazy. And you heard it here, 100 M's by June 1st, 2027. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Connect with him on social media. And I also want to urge and encourage you to continue on the path that you set out to begin with. Understand that, you are a lot closer than you think you are. I know you may be thinking like Adam and Tirone, like, bro, like I've been lost. I've been losing money. I've been this, I've been that. But you'd be surprised about how close you are to your destiny. And the enemy has a good way of convincing you that you're so far away that the destination that you're trying to get to is impossible. So again, brother, thank you again for giving me an opportunity to interview you, bro. Much love. and much blessings to you on your journey. For those of you that are blessed by this interview, do me a big favor. Leave a comment down below, one of the biggest nuggets that you took away from this interview. Like this video and share it with somebody that you love and care about that needs to hear this message. Again, my name is Adam Scott, founder of A Total 180, helping you start and develop your online business in 90 days or less. Thank you again, my brother, and we will catch you in the next one-on-one A Total 180 interview. Y'all be blessed.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my friend, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that interview as much as I did hosting it. And I know you can't wait till the next one comes out. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for the next interview to come out, if you're, listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really want to implement the stuff that he talked about, and I'm really ready to take my online business to the next level, there's a free training I did where I covered 3 intangible steps to help you start and develop your online business in 90 days or less. Go to atotal180.com/military to get that training there for free. And if you're ready to implement that training, once you've watched it and you're like, Adam, I'm stuck, I really want to go to the next level, I really want to make a total 180, but I'm just not in the right mind frame, and I really need somebody to hold me accountable to my goals, my dreams, and my aspirations, and you want to hop on a call with me or my team, go to atotal180.com/apply and schedule your Clarity Conversation phone call, and we'll discuss how we can help you implement the framework and my free training. Again, that's atotal180.com/apply, so we can help you implement the framework that you'll get in a free training by hopping on a 15-minute conversation with me or my team. Again, I look forward to sharing with you the next interview to come, and I know for a fact you're going to get incredible value from it. I will catch you in the next one.